Hey, welcome everybody to our 1979 Mets replay. We are at Shea Stadium in beautiful downtown Queens, Flushing, Queens, New York, and it's Tom Seaver. No, it's not Tom Seaver. So we're going to have to change that. It's Mike Lacoste. Mike Lacoste was 14-8 with a 3.50 ERA and 32 starts. So he was dealing in 1979. Mike Lacoste, a 23-year-old right-hander. And let's go quickly and put him in. Mike Lacoste. And we're going to have to write him in because he's not even written in yet. Let's see. Mike. And then we're going to get started. Mike Lacoste. That's it. And he's a right-hander. And then we're right about to start the game. Now, pitcher, Lacoste. Boom, we're ready to roll. All right, Tom Houseman is on the mound for the Mets. And Tom Houseman, this is his first start as a Met in 1979. It's the 57th game for the Mets. And I'll tell you when exactly, what is the date. We're using the actual lineups. And it was June 13th, 1979. And the Reds win this game 4-1. Lacoste gets the victory. He goes 8-0 at this point in the season. That's interesting. Hume gets his second save. Houseman he goes 0-1 with a loss. And he goes 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. He's replaced or relieved by Scott and Gwynn. Let's get started. We're playing payoff pitch. On my right is a 10-inch iPad, and I use iScore, which is a free app to keep track of your stats and so forth. And I've shown it multiple times. We're going to start off with Griffey, Junior Kennedy at second base. Normally it's Morgan, but Kennedy is replacing Morgan for about a month, I think, from the numbers that I've seen and the at-bats and so on. Then batting third is Dave Concepcion, and cleanup is going to be George Foster. If we get beyond that, I will present that information. Here's the first pitch. It's a 4. Houseman is a tough 0-0. Okay, we start off with a rare play opportunity. And let's see if we can get a couple of dice here. And that's a 26. Batter strikes out, roll 2d6. All right, we'll do that. You tell us to do that, we'll do that. All right, it's a 7. 26, 7. 2-7, batter ejected for arguing call. 8-12, batter is humbled and returns to the dugout. So he's ejected. Ken Griffey gets on the home plate umpire's nerves, and he gets kicked out of the game. Adios, Griffey. So Griffey's done. And against a righty, we're going to bring in we are going to bring in, what are we going to bring in here? So my pitchers, a lot of pitchers. Payoff pitch gives you a lot of cards. So enjoy it. You won't have to be searching around for cards, extra cards, or this card or that card. A lot of great cards right here. Spillman is a first baseman, third baseman. Hector Cruz, I don't know that he's there. Champ Summers and George Summers. Champ Summers and see what's up here. I'm not. Oh, DeFreitas is here. Okay, and he's a right fielder. Griffey was in right, so that works out perfectly. Great. Okay, so Arturo DeFreitas will replace Griffey in right field, and we're going to write him in now. So Griffey was ejected for arguing a ball strike call. Goes down swinging, I believe. Let's double check that. 26. Batter strikes out. Yes. Okay. So we'll change that in a minute. So that's all right. That was a slow start there. All right. Second batter, Junior Kennedy. Steps into the box, and it's a patient 12, and that's going to be against a righty. Is going to be a base on balls, 1-47. So Junior Kennedy, and he may go. Who knows? Let's see. He had 4 stolen bases in 200 at bats. I don't know what that is. It's a 6, so he does not go. And when you roll doubles or double sixes, there's an opportunity for a wild pitch and so forth. All right, so it's 7 in play 28, and that goes his Dave Concepcion steps into the box and goes up to 28. That's a line and caught by Flynn at second. So that's 2 away. Concepcion hit it right on the nose, but right at Flynn. And here's George Foster. George Foster had 30 home runs. 19 versus righties with a 297 batting average versus righties, a 311 batting average versus lefties. So 10, ballpark 75. Now at Shea, right-handers go 1-33, so we're looking at it in play. In play 45 versus a righty is going to be an out. Ground ball, Willie Montanez at first, flips to Lacoste, and Houseman, and the side is retired. We may get into a groove, and it's going to start moving and grooving here. We're playing the 79 Mets versus the 79 Reds in our replay. It's going to be an 8 in play. Lacoste to Joel Youngblood, who's the leadoff batter for the Mets. It's going to be Youngblood, Taveras, Mazzilli, and cleanup Richie Hebner. And it's going to be an 8 in play 40. In play 40 versus a righty is outrange, and that's going to be popped up right side. Second baseman Kennedy, 1 away. Frank Taveras. And that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into the corner, and George Foster after it. Taveras hustling around first and into second base with a stand-up double, a 1-out double for Frankie Taveras on a roll of tough 33. Tough 33 is a double on Taveras' card. So Taveras has good speed and made it to second easily. There was no throw. And it's an in-play 94. That's going to be outrange for sure, no doubt. Fly ball left field. George Foster's there. And there's going to be going to make the substitution we should have made earlier. We just didn't officially put it down on paper. De Freitas replacing Griffey, who was ejected. Arturo De Freitas. Arturo De Freitas. Fascinating. Oh. Add sub. Arturo. All right. And we're going to replace with Arturo De Freitas. Yes. 2 outs. Mike Lacoste pitches to Richie Hebner, left-handed batter. And if I'll tell you what he's batting on the season, I just click on his name. And he is batting .236, 178 at bats. He's got 4 home runs and 19 RBIs. Richie Hebner. He's the highest paid player on the Mets. That's going to be in play 71. It's going to be lined and caught by the third baseman. Lined and caught by the shortstop. And the side is retired. We go to top of the second now. This is getting off to a slow start. It's going to be a 6-hour game if we keep this up. Patient 0-2. That's going to be a base on balls. Dan Dreesen walks. Dan Dreesen had 11 stolen bases. We're going to roll for him. It's a 3. Oh, a snake guy, so he's going. And our catcher is Stearns. Stearns is a 3-arm. arm 3. So it's going to be C3. See what that means. A C3, and I'll show you how that works. A C3 is normal, so we're going to pull a card, a stolen base card. Fast action cards, and we're looking at stealing. Normal is safe. So there goes Dreesen, the throw from Stearns, and he's safe under the tag. So stolen base for Dreesen. He's on at second, and it's Cesar Geronimo, left-handed batter. He plays center field for the Reds. Here's the pitch from Houseman. Houseman was 2-6 with a 2.75 ERA, so he held his own for sure. That's patient 53. A patient 53 is outside of the patient range. Be a grounder to third. Hebner looks Dreesen back to second, fires to first. That's out number 1. Next is going to be Rick Auerbach, or Auerbach. Auerbach had 100 at-bats, and he batted 260 versus lefties and 160 versus righties. So he's basically playing third for Ray Knight. In play 63, that's a ground ball second base. And Dreesen is a 7 base runner, so he's going to hustle over to third. We have 4-3 put out. So there's 2 outs, runner on third, Dreesen for the Reds. There's no score in this game. And it's Vic Correll. Vic Correll batted 264 versus righties. He's filling in for Bench. It's 11 defense, 52, a 52 defense. What the heck? Wait a second. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I see. A 52 defense. Let's see. Error shortstop. Let's see Frankie Taveras, what his error rating is. It's a 3. So we're going to look here. 3 is 1 to 36. We rolled a 52, so that's going to be out range. What kind of an out to the shortstop? It's a ground ball. And that's going to retire the side. 6 to 3. No score. We go to the bottom of the second here at Shea Stadium. Beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens. I encourage you to visit on the subway. You take the 7 train. It's the elevated train through Queens, and you come to Willets Point Shea Stadium Station. Come up to the booth and say hello if you get the chance. Willie Martinez. Defense 67. That's going to be outside of both range, hit range, and error range. So we're just going to pull a card to see where it went. It went to left field. George Foster is there. Makes the catch. Let's get a little background crowd noise. We're going to have to grab that real quick because there it is. Let's get that going. There's the crowd. So that's pretty loud, right? All right, John Stearns. Joel Youngblood. Wait a second. All right. So it should have been Montanez. And that doesn't seem like Montanez there. So there's an issue. So we rolled an 11. Oh, okay, it was a defense. So that didn't matter. All right, so now it's John Stearns. John Stearns, the batter. First time he's up. 9. Patient 68. And that's going to be outrange. That's going to be a fly to center. Geronimo squeezes it. There's one of my brothers going to see the Mets in August. I shall be there. Usually I'm there in August, at least the first week in August. July and August, maybe June, July, and August. Depends on which year. But yes, I will be there, so keep in contact. 2 out, and it's Stevie Henderson. 7, tough. A tough 32. I'll tell you where I get my seats. I get my seats right where they have the glass. There's a glass little restaurant. It's usually, I can't remember I got to look it up, man. But they have a little indoor restaurant with the glass, and you can sit behind the glass and you can look at it. It's right behind home plate. That's where I get all my seats. And I get the wheelchair seats because they give you the most space, the most space, and plus they have these. Some of the seat or half the seats, the ones I grab, have a thick cushion, a thick, yeah, basically pillow cushion that that kind of supports your rear end. So it's 7 tough 32. A tough 32 is going to be a strikeout. Henderson down on strikes. And that retires a side. And now, when you go to New York, you're going to visit Citi Field. Citi Field is just basically steps away from where Shea Stadium was. You still have a lot of the junkyards across the street, auto part junkyards, but they've taken a lot of that, and I think they've sold it off, and now there's going to be some big-time construction going on there. I don't know if that's going to be a mall, if that's going to be apartments. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but they're always tearing down stuff in New York. Nothing stays there very long because the property values skyrocket so quickly that, they have to make a profit. So people are bought out constantly, and they rebuild something taller, higher, and stronger to be able to take advantage of a very tight kind of limited space in what is the 5 boroughs, and then and including Manhattan. Mike Lacoste is batting, going to roll for Mike Lacoste. Here's the pitch from Houseman. Patience 71. It's going to be outrange. Fly to center. Mazzilli's there. Lee Mazzilli. I saw him on the Yankee game last night. He was talking to Clint Frazier, telling Clint Frazier, hey, you don't have to hit 2 home runs and drive in 40 runs. What if you hit 10 home runs and you drive in 80 runs? Out of the words out of Mazzilli's modeling and combat painter. Hello. Hey there, brothers. How are you? Okay, it's Tom Houseman against Arturo de Freitas, the right fielder now, because Ken Griffey was ejected in the first inning for arguing balls and strikes. That's in play 17 against a righty. That's going to be a base hit single for Arturo de Freitas. Junior Kennedy, 1 out here in the top of the third. No score. Reds and Mets. The pitch from Tom Houseman. Tom Houseman runs baseball camps for kids throughout the United States. That's in play 79. And in play 79 is a line drive, and Lee Mazzilli running in and makes a nice shoestring catch for out number 2. Gets a Mazzilli's efforts is appreciated by the crowd, as you can tell. And hustling back to first is Arturo de Freitas. Dave Concepcion now. 2 outs, top of the third. Here's the pitch to Concepcion. That's Snake Eyes wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 71. And that's lined and caught by Doug Flynn. Really timed his leap perfectly. And we go to the bottom of the third, no score. For the Mets, it's going to be Flynn, Houseman, and Youngblood. Here's the pitch from Mike Lacoste. Oh, that's a 3 in play 75. Fly ball center field, Geronimo. 1 away. Pitch to the pitcher, Houseman, 7 tough. A tough 60 is a strikeout. Houseman down on strikes, and it's Joe Youngblood. Joe Youngblood is 0 for 1. He flied out in his first at bat, and that's a 3 in play 59. That's going to be out. It's a fly ball lifted to right. De Freitas. Puts it away. Tom Houseman now against George Foster. And that's a 10. A 10 is ballpark 66. 1-33 in Shea Stadium, so that's going to put us in the in-play range. Don't know exactly what that is. And it's going to be a 24. In play 24 is a line drive base hit for Foster. Foster's not a threat to steal, so he will not be going. He's going to be a station-to-station guy. Here's Dreesen, Dan Dreesen, who's walked. That's a 6, a tough 31. His wild pitch is 30. A tough 31 is going to be a strikeout. Dreesen down on strikes. Next is Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo's 0 for 1. He grounded out in his first at bat. 7 in play. An in play 55. And that's going to be a fly ball, lifted high fly to Henderson in left. 2 down. Rick Auerbach, 160 hitter versus righties. Snake Eyes wheelhouse, 14. That's a deep drive to left field. Back goes Henderson to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 2-0 Reds. Rick Auerbach hit 1 home run versus right-handed pitchers in 50 at-bats, and just so happens to basically ruin my day, he hits one here. 29-year-old Rick Auerbach filling in for Ray Knight at third base. Connects for a 4-bagger, and guess what? Tom Houseman wishes he had that pitch back. And we're going to double check that because that's unbelievable. We rolled Snake Eyes, wheelhouse, and we rolled a 14 versus a righty. It's up 1-16 as a home run. So that is true pain. Vic Correll, 5, patient 0-1. That's going to be a base on ball. So Correll's on with a walk. So Tom Houseman in his first start as a Met is visibly shaken. And John Stearns is going to go out to talk to him. Now, Tom Houseman played with the 1919 Sox, and all through the eras ended up playing with almost every team ever in existence. But he holds a lot of camps, and he's a sage, a pitching sage. Mike Lacoste with 2 outs here. 2-0 Reds. That's a 5. Patient 93. And that's going to be a fly ball left field. And that retires his side, but not before Auerbach connects. And the Mets are down 2-0. Frankie Taveras, he's 1 for 1 with a double. Led off the game with a double. In play 38. In play 38 is outrange, and that's going to be a ground ball right to Lacoste. Feels his position, throws out Taveras. Lee Mazzilli, he's the Mets' best hitter, and I'll tell you what he bats at. Lee Mazzilli bats .351 with 6 home runs and 27 RBIs. Let's see what he does here. This is 10 in play, 94. In play 94, that's outrange, and that's a fly ball to left. George Foster gets under it, squeezes it. 2 out, and Richie Hebner, who's 0 for 1, he hit a line drive. And that's a 7. Tough 92. A tough 92 is going to be line drive caught by the second baseman, Kennedy. Second time that Hebner has lined out. Top of the 5th. We're rolling here. Arturo de Freitas filling in for Griffey. He's 1 for 1 with a single. That's a 6. Tough 53. Tough 53 is a strikeout. Junior Kennedy. Pitch from Houseman. 6. Tough 12. That's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Houseman. And Concepcion. Ballpark 50 from a righty. That's going to be in play range. Going to put that to the side. And that's going to be a 30, 32. In play 32 is going to be out range. Popped up behind the plate. Stearns makes the catch. Willie Montanez, the Mets first baseman, left-hand hitting Willie Montanez. And I'll tell you what Montanez is doing this season with the Mets. Montanez is batting overall 263 and 213 at-bats. He's got 5 home runs and 33 RBIs. So he's been rather productive. In reality, he hit 5 home runs. And I don't have the RBIs here on his list. So it's going to be Willie Hernandez with nobody on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch from the right-hander, Michael Lacoste, is a 5 in play 12. And that's going to be line base hit for Montanez. Montanez on with a base knock to lead off the inning for the Mets. He has no speed, so he will be going station to station. Johnny Stearns, patient 35. Patient 35 is going to be a ball that falls in between the center fielder and the right fielder, between DeFreitas and Geronimo. And we're going to double check and see what that looks like. And the runner advances a double. Runner advances 2 bases. They're going to hold up Montanez at third with nobody out. Makes sense. Why risk it when you have at least 3 more outs to work with? So now the tying run is at second base, and John Stearns, who does have good speed for a catcher. At bat is Steve Henderson. There's nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Lacoste, for the first time in the game, is in trouble. Here's a pitch from Mike Lacoste to Steve Henderson with the tying run at second. Montanez at third, Stearns at second, a 2-0 Reds lead. The pitch to Henderson, ballpark 30. A 30 is not a wild pitch, usually it is. A ballpark 30 is going to, against a righty, is going to be wheelhouse. So this is a good opportunity for the Mets. 1-41 will put a run on the board for the Mets. And we rolled a 60, that's outrange. It's a fly ball to right field, but deep enough to get Willie Montanez home. DeFreitas goes back, makes the catch. Stearns is going to hold it second. The throw comes into third, and Willie Montanez scores the Mets' first run. So it's a sacrifice fly. And it's a 2-1 game. Doug Flynn, I'll tell you a little bit about Flynn. Flynn is batting a 196, but he has 29 RBIs and 200 at-bats. So let's say he gets 400 at-bats. He'll have 60 runs batted in for the season, which is pretty good for an 8th-place hitter. So Doug Flynn now with 1 out and the tying run at second base. That's going to be a 7, a tough 59. Tough 59 is going to be popped up. Auerbach at third in foul ground makes the catch. 2 down. And it's Tom Houseman. 10 in play 63. Ground ball second base, Junior Kennedy. Over to Dreesen. That retires the side. But the Mets pick up 1 big run. And they're behind by only 1 by a score of 2-1. Tommy Houseman against Foster. Here's the pitch. In play 72. That's going to be outrange. That's going to be a grounder to second. Doug Flynn to Montanez. 1 away. Dreesen 0 for 1 with a walk. In play 27. That's going to be outside of hit range. Lined, caught by Frank Taveras, who timed his jump perfectly. And Cesar Geronimo 0 for 2. 11 defense 32. A defense 32 is a range pitcher. Range on Houseman. Range on Houseman is going to be a B. So we're looking at 1-34 is going to be a hit. And we rolled the 32. That's going to be a base hit. So single for Geronimo, 2-out single for Geronimo. And Geronimo is no threat to steal. He had only 1 stolen base. Rick Auerbach, who hit that 2-run homer to give the Reds their lead. 8 in play, 99. That's going to be popped up. Richie Hebner makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Mike Lacoste is facing Joel Youngblood, who's 0 for 2. And we're going to get some crowd noise here, the appropriate crowd noise. Let's get that going. And Joel Youngblood, we rolled a 7, tough 13, and that's going to be a strikeout. Youngblood down on strikes, high heat, got him. 9, patient 38, a patient 38 against Frankie Taveras' ground ball up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. So Taveras with his 2nd hit of the game. He's always a threat to go, and with no Johnny Bench, that's even more reason for him to go. And that's a 9. That's not going to happen. So Taveras can't get the lead he's looking for. And that's a 7, a tough 71. Outrange, ground ball, second base. We rolled a 7. It's a double play on Lacoste. It's a double play, and it's not a double play. So it's going to be a 71. It's going to be a 4-6 fielder's choice. That puts Mazzilli on at first, and Mazzilli is a threat to steal. Gotta do that again. Fielder's choice. 4-6. And Mazzilli's out at second on the force out. Okay. So Lee Mazzilli is going to try to go. Let's see. He needs a 5 or less. And we roll a 7, so he does not go. Mets are trying to get that run, that tying run to second base, or that tying runner to second base. Here's the pitch. It's Mike Lacoste to Lee Mazzilli. Actually, it's Richie Hebner up now. In play, 12. An in-play 12 is going to be a base hit single. And runner advances. It's a question mark whether he advances. It's to center field. We're not going to run on Geronimo's arm. We're going to hold up. Runners on first and second. I mean, he's in scoring position right now. So there's 2 outs. Mets are down 2-1. It's the bottom of the 6th. Mazzilli takes his lead off second. Hebner off first. And it's Willie Montanez, who's 1 for 2. He's flied out and singled. Here's the pitch from Mike Lacoste. That's 7, tough. A tough 15 is a strikeout. Montanez, curveball, got him. Tom Houseman versus Vic Correll. Here's the pitch from Houseman, 5, patient, 63. Ground ball, second base, Doug Flynn to Montanez for out number 1. And we're keeping the pitchers in there. That's what I love about the 70s. Lacoste is batting. It's a 9 in play, 0-8. An in play 0-8 on a 5-pitcher hitting card is a 9 is in play. Base hit. So Lacoste singles to right. And he's on at first base with 1 out. Arturo de Freitas. 4, tough 43. Tough 43. That's a strikeout. De Freitas goes down swinging for the 2nd time. Nice pitch by Tom Houseman. And now with 2 outs, and Lacoste on at first is Junior Kennedy. Kennedy is 0 for 2. He walked, hit a line drive, and struck out. That's an 8 in play, an in play 853 outrange. Grounded to third. Richie Hebner goes to second for the force. Side retired. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Here at Shea Stadium, it's a 2-1 Reds lead. Can the Mets get something going here and tie up the game or score some runs? All right, tough 26. A tough 26 is a strikeout. Stearns strikes out. Next is Steve Henderson, who's 0 for 1. K and a sacrifice fly. Ballpark 47. It's going to be in play 55. Ground ball, third base. Auerbach fires to first, gets Henderson by a step. And Doug Flynn gets a good hand as he steps into the box. Mike Lacoste versus the right-hand hitting Flynn, who's 0 for 2. That's an 8. In play, 61. Ground ball, second base, 4-3, inning over. Dave Concepcion facing Tom Houseman. Tom Houseman started in 10 games for the Mets, completed 1. Patient, 91. And that's lined and caught by the shortstop, Taveras. George Foster, 2-1. Reds here in the top of the 8th inning. And that's an 8. In play, 20. It's line drive base hit for Foster. Second hit for Foster in this game. He's not a threat to steal. Dan Dreesen, the lefty. That's a 7. In play, 89. In play, 89. Maybe a double play. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be a ground ball second base with a 7. It's a double play on Houseman's card, and it's a not a double play on Dreesen's card. So it's a, hey there, Al, man. All right. Al is here. Al is in the house. And that was an 89, so that's going to be a 4-6 fielder's choice. Now, the Mets have the exact record that they had outside of a tie. So this is mind-bending, I guess. I don't know. It is to me. The fact that the Mets, what just happened? It was Dreesen reaching out a fielder's choice. Wait a second. I got to go back and redo that. Hold on a second. I wasn't paying attention. All right. Dan Dreesen, it's a 7. In play, 89. That's going to be a fielder's choice. So let's do that. 4-6 fielder's choice. Out on a force. There you go. Now I fixed it. All right. And the Mets, I believe, are 23 and 33. In reality, I believe they were 23 and 32 and a tie. Explain that to me. How can that happen? It just blows my mind. It's surreal. Am I back in 1979? I don't know. I may be. Cesar Geronimo, Dan Dreesen takes his lead off first. Dreesen is not yes, he is. He's a threat to steal, so we're going to roll for him. Roll double sixes and maybe a pickoff. Oh, all right. It's a 9. That we needed 3 or less for Dreesen to go. So he does not go. Here's the pitch from Houseman to Geronimo, the lefty. 7. In play 14. And in play 14 is going to be a sharp liner into center field. The runner advances 2 bases. So first and third with 2 outs now. And that's going to be it for our boy, Tom Houseman. And we're going to give him a good hand. And I don't have the power to do that with my setup, but I will give him a good hand. There he goes. Gets a good hand from the crowd as he steps into the dugout. Did a good job for his first start. Pitched 7 2/3. Gave up 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left on base. And the 2 runners on are his responsibility. And we're going to look at quickly Scott. Mike Scott is going to come in to pitch to the... Oh, Geronimo is not a threat to steal, so he won't be running. To Auerbach, Rick Auerbach, who's hit a 2-run homer in this game. Shocking everyone in the stadium. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop in here. The guy hit 1 home run all season and happens to hit one in his 1 start against the Mets. 160 batting average. How that happened is beyond me. This is the Twilight Zone. So it's going to be Mike Scott. And Mike Scott is going to... you know what? We're not doing a double switch right here. It's too late in the game. Okay, Rick Auerbach. Mike Scott. 8, tough, 59, strikeout. Auerbach gets what he deserves. Goes down on strikes. High heat. left him looking baffled. And Mike Lacoste versus Mike Scott, but we're going to get a pinch hitter here. The pinch hitter is going to be Ed Kranepool. Yes, Ed Kranepool. Love to bring up Ed Kranepool. Yes, welcome to the Twilight Zone, where Rick Auerbach hits a 2-run homer and the Reds are up 2-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be Ed Kranepool. Here's the pitch to Ed Kranepool from Mike Lacoste, who's still in the game. Now, Lacoste pitched 6 complete games, so we may let him go in here just because I don't want to. 7, tough 61. A tough 61. Going to be outrange. Ground ball, shortstop, Concepcion. Fires to first. Kranepool is out by half a football field. Youngblood, 8. In play, 32. In play, 32. In play, 32 is outside of hit range for Youngblood. It's going to be a line drive caught by Concepcion, who timed it perfectly. 2-away. And now it's Taveras. Taveras is 2 for 3, and I'll tell you what Taveras is on the season. Taveras in our replay season is batting .261. So these are very, very extremely realistic results. He has no home runs, and he has 10 stolen bases. He, in reality, stole 42 stolen bases. That's a 5. In play, 96. In play, 96 is a fly ball skied to left. Foster comes in, waits for it, retires the side. So we go to the top of the 9th. The top of the 9th now. It's going to be Ed Glynn. Is it going to be Ed Glynn? There's no lefties coming up, so it's not going to be Ed Glynn. We're going to bring in Dave Collins was in the wrong place. I was looking for him. I couldn't figure out where he was. Make sure I don't have any other Reds in here. Okay. You know what? Who else is here for the Mets? Scott and Glynn in this game. But let me check the next game to see who's on the roster real quick. Won't take me long. This is game 57. So game 58 is versus the Braves. They're coming into town. Another 3-game set. And in that game, it was Swan, 1 complete game, so that doesn't help me. Let me go to one right after that. Let's see if we have some relief pitchers in here. This is a 2-0 game. And in this one, it's Coble that goes a complete game. Another pretty decent pitcher for the Mets in that season. And then the third game's 2-1. I can't find any high-scoring games. Man, they didn't score a lot of runs in 79. Everything's 2-0, 2-1. This game is 2-1. Okay, but they did use some pitchers in this game. And who's in there? Twitchell, Reardon. Oh, Reardon. All right. So we're going to bring in Twitchell in this situation. If he gets into any trouble, I'll bring somebody else in. All right. So Jeff Reardon, I'm going to have to put him in the deck. Jeff Reardon. So we're starting to see new pitchers for the Mets. And Reardon lasts a few years with the Mets, I know that. Reardon pitched in 18 games. Anyway, Wayne Twitchell's coming in. And hopefully get out of this inning 1, 2, 3, so we keep the score at 2-1. All right. And Twitchell, here's the pitch from Twitchell to Vic Correll. Catcher replacing Johnny Bench, or resting Johnny Bench, potentially a somewhat injured Johnny Bench. Patient 54, a patient 54, that's going to be a hit by pitch, so Correll gets plunked by Twitchell. Twitchell not known for the best control. Twitchell walked 55 batters in 63 innings. Just to give you the heads up, Mike Lacoste is going to bunt, and Lacoste is a D bunter. It's a sacrifice hit. Back to the pitcher, Twitchell. Looks at second, goes to first. And moving to second is Correll. So Correll is on at second with an important insurance run here, and it's Arturo de Freitas. Here's the pitch to Arturo. Patient 78. Patient 78 is going to be outrange. The fly ball center field. Mazzilli squeezes it. 2 down. 2 down, top of the ninth. 2-1 Reds. Reds have a Vic Correll at second base. Junior Kennedy, the batter. It's going to be 8 patient 60. A patient 60 is going to be a single. Let's see what happens here. 1 base, and I don't think Correll is going to be able to score. Correll is a 5, so he's going to stop at third. So they give Correll the green light, but there's runners on first and third now. And it's Dave Concepcion. So here's the pitch from Twitchell to Dave Concepcion, who is 0 for 4 on the day. That's 66. And it's wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 48 against a righty. It's right outside of the hit range that went up to 46. So we just missed it by 2, and it's popped up. High fly infield. Taveras makes the catch. Side retired. We go to the bottom of the ninth, folks. This is do or die. The day of reckoning has arrived. Mike Lacoste going for a complete game. He's allowed only 5 hits and 1 run in 8 innings. He's going to face the Mets' their top hitter, their bestest hitter, Lee Mazzilli. Mazzilli's now a coach for the Yankees, and he was talking to Clint Frazier last night. I was watching the spring training game, telling Clint Frazier, hey, instead of 22 home runs and 40 RBIs, I don't know if any of you guys heard that, what about 10 home runs and 80 RBIs. So, I mean, those old school guys are, more about the contact than about swinging for the fences on every at bat. Mets set. 8 in play. 15. Mazzilli lines it, base hit to right field. DeFreitas gets it in quickly. The tying run is now on at first. Lee Mazzilli singles to right. Nobody out here for the Mets, and Mazzilli with a 5 or less will try to steal. Vic Correll is not known for his guns or his gun. He's a 5-arm, so that would give Mazzilli a huge advantage. So for the Mets to get Mazzilli to second, we need to roll a 5 or less. Here goes. Oh, an 11 doesn't work. Doesn't happen. Does not happen. All right, so Mazzilli takes his lead off first. It's Richie Hebner, left-handed batter. Now there's going to be action in the Reds bullpen, I believe. Let's double check. Let's go back to this original game and look at the original. I have a laptop, maybe a 17-inch screen on my left. On my right, I have my iScore 10-inch iPad. So I'm doing different things with different devices. And it was, wait a second. No, that's not it. Hold on, cowboy. All right, there's Lacoste. Okay, Hume gets a save in this game, so he's ready to come in. Here's Richie Hebner. 8 in play, and in play 44. That's going to be an outrange. That's going to be trouble, perhaps. It's going to be. Oh no, it's popped up. High fly, infield fly. Concepcion makes the catch. 1 away. Willie Montanez now, and it's going to be Hume. It's going to come in. No, Hume is a righty, so he's not going to. Let's see. Hume, we may bring in Hume. He pitched in this game. He got a save in this game. There you go. Hume's coming in. And I don't want to be accused of undermanaging, but I am guilty. There you go. Okay, it's going to be Tom Hume coming in. Take the mound. He's going to take his warm-up pitches. Everybody goes to the bathroom and pees. A couple guys try to get beers, and it was closed. And now it's Willie Montanez. How you doing there, brother? All right, Willie Montanez is at the plate. Willie Montanez is 1 for 3. He's flat out, singled, and struck out. Let me take a little quick sip of my Corona. with a slice of lime to relax after a hard day of work. And Willie Montana steps into the box. There's one out, bottom of the ninth. Tying run is on at first with Mazzilli. And we're all rooting for the Mets. We're all diehard Mets fans. So it better happen. Here's the pitch from Tom Hume. Hume was 10-9 with a 2.76 ERA. He had 17 saves. He actually started 12 games. So there were no rules back then. 8, in play, 37. No wild pitch there. 37. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Do not share it with anyone. I've been itching to play a modern game, so I may have to pull out a 2018 set and roll something, I don't know what. Something weird, something strange, or I may start a whole new 2018 replay, but I don't like playing a lot of 2018 games because of all the substitutions. But I do every so often. I get an itching for lots of strikeouts and lots of home runs and wild pitches and just craziness. Anyway, okay, it's in play, 37, and that's going to be outrange for sure. It's popped up right side. Kennedy, Andreessen, Kennedy, 2 down. John Stearns, 2 out for the Mets. Tying run is on at first. 2-1 Reds. Mets are down to their last out. Let's see what happens. Here's the pitch from Hume. 5, patient 17, and that's a walk. Stearns manages a base on balls here. He waited out and fouled off a bunch of pitches and waited Hume out until he managed the walk, and he's on at first. Mazzilli's on at second. 2 out. Steve Henderson on the season in 57 games so far is batting .281. He batted .260 against righties and .395 against lefties, so that sounds about right, .281. I'm telling you guys that this is amazingly accurate. It's mind-bendingly accurate. My record is exactly the same as the Mets had after 57 games, except for a tie. Somewhere along the line in the real replay, in actual games in 79, the Mets had a tie. That's the only difference in their record and my record. So, okay, so it's Steve Henderson. Steve Henderson, against a righty, bats .260. He's 0 for 2 today. He struck out, hit a sac fly, and grounded out. So this is the last out for the Mets. They're down to their last out with the tying run at second base. So a single will score Mazzilli. Here's the pitch from Hume. That's a 7. A tough 53. Uh-oh. What's going to happen here? And it's a swing and a miss. Game over. Steve Henderson, baffled by the curveball, and took it looking, goes down looking, even though it looked like it was a swing, but he held up on his swing, and the umpire says that no swing, but it was a strike, but Henderson was totally baffled. Game over. The Mets lose. Another sad game for the Mets in their 99-loss season of 1979. The win is going to go to Mike Lacoste. The loss is going to go to our boy, Tom Houseman. Auerbach is the player of the game with a 2-run homer. We're going to wait for him in the parking lot. He'll end up in the trunk of his car like in Goodfellas. We're going to have to drive him upstate New York. And Tom Hume picks up the save. And that's it, brothers. I'm on my way to relaxation station. Beyond this great relaxation. And I'm going to set up another game. We're going to go to, I'll tell you who the next 3 game set is. I don't know that I will broadcast anything or stream anything more tonight. I will probably play another game tonight. I want to get to 60, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to do. That'll be 1/3 of the, well, it's actually not 1/3 of the season. Obviously, I'm not a good mathematician. It's more than 1/3 of the season, but maybe I should go to 80 and then take a break. All right, so it's going to be versus the Atlanta Braves. They're coming into town here in Shea. It's going to be a 3-game set, and then we're going to go to Houston. We're going to go to Texas. Texas, St. Louis, and for 5 games, and then we come back to Shea and host the Pirates. So we're going to host the Braves for 3 games, and I'll tell you the pitching matchup for the next game, which in actuality was a 2-1 game, June 15th, 1979. It's going to be I can't. I think it's Phil Negro or Joe Negro. I can't because Almanac doesn't give you the. Let me look it up. I'll just click on his name. Phil Negro, the knuckleballer, 40-year-old knuckleballer, is going to face Craig Swan. In reality, this was a 2-1 game, so this is going to be a good pitching matchup. I'm looking forward to that game. It's going to be Royster, Matthews, Horner, Burrows, Pocoroba, Office, Hubbard, Frias, and then Necro. Do you remember any of those names? Anyway, 1979. More games coming up soon. And Comment Painter is going to sign off. Thanks for stopping by and commenting. Appreciate it. I will be by your games as well. I listen to most of them as I'm driving to work. It's a lot of fun. It just relaxes me. So, and that's it.